3 people to always avoid, if at all possible. Number 1, the consistently unlucky, because misery loves company and misery is contagious. Number 2, broke people, broken people, because mediocrity is also contagious. Scarcity becomes a default state of mind. And number 3, people with too much time on their hands, because the idle mind is the devil's playground. The universe is a complete, unique entity. Everything and everyone is bound together with some invisible strings. You are now tuned in to Power Podcasts, the Empower Hour. Peace and blessings, beautiful souls. I am Brandi L. Bates, author of Moonshine for the Soul, The Art of Grind, and many other books. I'll be your host for tonight. You can find me on Twitter at Soledad Francis, and of course on Instagram at Brandi is winning, Brandi with an I. But most of these podcasts can be located and archived on YouTube, hashtag Power Podcast. But please listen to them while they are still freshly squeezed and have all of their enzymes and effervescence and spirit and vitality by subscribing to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and or brandybates.podomatic.com. All-Madden Mode. Where are my fellas who play Madden? All-Madden Mode is the most difficult mode of the video game Madden NFL. The defense is impossible, and to be in All-Madden Mode is to be unbreakable. That's what we're talking about today. Unbreakable. To have an unbreakable day, to have unbreakable weeks and unbreakable months, to stay consistent in your strength and in your truth. All-Madden Mode. All-Madden Mode is about being unstoppable, unfadable, and unfuckwittable. Unstoppable, unfadable, and unfuckwittable. One of my oldest aunts, the matriarch of our family now, she said, I like that word you use, unfuckwittable. I like that word because it defines and describes our people, the shit we've been through, the shit we've survived. Some of us have the DNA of people who have survived the transatlantic slave trade. And you crying because you got fired. When you got the blood of warriors in your veins. And you're being stressed about a breakup. Unfuckwittable. Unstoppable. Unfadable. All-Madden Mode. All summer. All winter. Even though the spring feels real good right now. Money is good. The rent was paid this month, right? Mortgage and car note was paid this month, okay? But many of you are one paycheck away from hard times. Stay with me. Winter is coming. We got a long way to go. Short way to get there. All-Madden Mode. All-Madden isn't about... It isn't about being cute. All-Madden isn't intended to be a cakewalk. It separates the wheat from the chaff, right? Those who talking about it versus those who are doing it, living it, walking it. You need to improve on your play calling and your control to win in All-Madden. And remember that the pros lose games all the time. Even Tiger Woods had to come back from massive defeat, right? For some of us, All-Madden is getting laid off. All-Madden is your daddy dying. All-Madden is learning that your soulmate and the love of your life is and has been cheating. Divorce. All-Madden for somebody right now is heartbreak. Saturn return. You're going through it. Money tight. Having to move back home with your mama. Crapping out. Struggle. Right? All-Madden is meant to replicate the fact that you can't just win every game by default. One thing about the college scandal that came out recently, it's like, how are you okay, so you have white privilege and you're rich and you're wealthy. You come from a wealthy household, a wealthy name, and you still have to cheat. Because sometimes, it even the privilege doesn't always work for you, right? All-Madden. The summary of the advice of all prophets is this. Whether you follow Muhammad, whether you follow Paul, Saul, Moshe, Moses, find yourself a mirror. That's the summary of the advice of all prophets. Find yourself a mirror. Because it's always you against you. It's always you against you. Don't get it twisted. Your lower self fights your higher self. Your vices are always going against your goals. You trying to lose weight. You trying to be fly. You trying to get your mind right. But those vices, the things that you want to do, what you want to eat, what you want to smoke, what you want to drink, where you want to be, your old self versus your future. Getting what you've always gotten versus endless possibility. You're always competing against your weaknesses. Always. Because what you didn't realize is that your weaker version and even your stronger version will often show up in the form of opportunities and people, situations, relationships, and circumstances, right? Patience does not mean to passively suffer and to passively endure. It means patience. It means to look at the end of a process, knowing, you know what? It means to look at the thorn and see the rose, to look at the acorn and see the oak tree, to look at the night and see the dawn, to look at the diamond in the rough, the coal, and see the princess cut. It's to have vision, to think several moves ahead. When you play chess, when you're playing basketball, when you're playing golf, when you're even, just on the day-to-day, on the workplace, you have to think several steps ahead if you want to be ahead of the curve, if you will. And never get caught up in the present situation so much that you lose your ground or you lose your footing. The present situation is a simulation of your old patterns, your old programs, and your old thought world. That's what the present is. And synchronicity is choreographed by a great pervasive intelligence that lies at the heart of nature and is manifest in all of us through intuition, right? It's that gut punch telling you something ain't right. Something ain't right. You wake up in the middle of the night, something is not right. You can't put your finger on it, but you know something is it's not right. Or that still voice telling you to go right when you're about to go left. And it's like, nope, go this way, go this way. And you're like, wait a minute, I was going to go that way. That intuitive nudge. In religion, we call it spirits. In science, we call it energy. And in the streets, we call it vibes. You can feel it when somebody ain't right. You can feel it. You can sense it. You may not always be able to put a name on it, but your soul knows, your spirit knows. Because see, the physical, the ego, we judge people by perception, how they look, how they smell, how they make us feel. What do they look like? How do they appear? Do they seem wealthy? Do they look healthy? Do they appear or feel like they give off a good vibe? But it's other modes of being that are not visible or tangible or sensible in the ways that we've been conditioned to. You have more than 5 senses. You have more than 6 senses. But you were only taught to tap into the main ones. All-Madden Mode. It's the notion of being the man you never saw. The father and the husband. The CEO. The mogul. That you never experienced growing up. But still walking in that calling. Or the woman who totally annihilates the generational curse. Who totally goes in on all the old ways. Who goes in another direction. All-Madden Mode. Real magic is not about gaining power over others. It's about gaining power over yourself. Again, it's you against you, baby. Always. Always. In any fight. In any battle. In any conflict. The way to defeat is understanding yourself. Understanding the way you think. Understanding and knowing what your weaknesses are. And how to tighten up on them. Right? Any conflict. You win. By beating the weaker opponent. The weaker opponent is who does not win, right? And we forget that we are divine. How often we forget that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are divine. You are an electromagnetic being emitting a frequency underneath the meat suit, underneath the blood and the bones and the cartilage and the muscle. Only those things that are on the same frequency as the one you are emitting can come into your experience. Period. Every single person, every single situation, circumstance in your day is telling you what frequency you are on. A gut feeling is every cell in your body making a decision. Every 7 years, every cell in your body has died and been resurrected and made anew. And you holding on to old habits and old ways. But that all-Madden baby, it's gonna humble you. It's gonna humble you. You're not who you used to be when you were 21 and you had it going on. You're not who you used to be when you were 18. You had it popping. That person is gone. Some of us, and that's speaking to those who are living and resting on our laurels. You're resting on the shit you did. You can't get trophies for shit you did 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You got to do some new shit. What are you doing today? What are you building today? What are you writing today? What are you producing in this decade, in this era? When you're ready, when you're really ready, the spirit world will show you things others don't yet see. The man or woman who faces his or her shadow self faces the devil. We're talking about shadow work. He or she who faces the devil then knows his or her God. Why? Because each opponent you face in various phases of life, right, is different. You're going to experience a different opponent, a different adversary, a different obstacle, depending on where you are in life, right? Each opponent is going to be stronger because you're getting stronger. Each level, each grade, you go from primary school, elementary school, to middle school, to high school, to college, to grad school, to life, right? To life. Life is the ultimate Madden mode, okay? Existing in All-Madden mode is like playing in All-Madden mode. You will be destroyed. You will be broken down time and time again. But sometimes it's imperative to be broken down. Like you need to be broken down, because to rid you of your misconceptions and to rid you of your impurities and to disrobe you of false beliefs. Imperative to be broken down in order to be built up. What purifies you builds you. Don't ever get it twisted. It's what you need. All-Madden mode will teach you how to handle your enemies. One thing they don't teach you in school is how to handle your enemies, how to escape survival mode, how to master your energy. They will teach you how to be an employee. They will teach you the quadratic equation. They will teach you the history of your country. They won't teach you how to own your masters. They won't teach you how to own real estate, land, property, how to acquire gold, silver, diamonds, resources, modes and means of production. They will teach you how to go get a job in a manufacturing plant. They won't teach you how to own a manufacturing plant. They will teach you how to play for the team. It's great to play for the team, even if you're the highest paid on the team. They won't teach you how to own the team. All-Madden mode. Understand God, the universe, the ancestors, whatever you want to call it, whatever you decide to define it as. It's never punishing you or blessing you or controlling you. We live on a planet of over 7 billion humans and countless species. It's never all about you. Ever. I know you want to think it's all about you. It's not. And it's a good thing to keep in mind, because unless you do something great and move the needle ahead for humanity, you will just be another motherfucker that lived, breathed, maybe reproduced, and died. Where will you stand in the annals of history? A lot of you listening to this at this present moment were oops babies, an accident, unplanned. I know it sounds harsh, but let's be all the way completely transparent and clear. Many of us, accidents, unplanned pregnancies. But even in that, your life and the fruit thereof is already provided for, because when you understand how difficult it is to create new life, the process of reproduction, the process of the egg and the sperm meeting and coming to fruition and actually coming to full term in vitro, in the embryonic stage, to a full life. It's not a cakewalk. It's All-Madden mode, baby. Meant to break you down. For you to have survived that, you already just won billions and billions and billions of sperm racing. You already won your first race in All-Madden mode. The universe responds to the vibration you are creating. Think happy and happiness will come to you. Think negatively and negativity will come to you. What we put out always comes back to us as an echo. And we continually come back to things we thought we understood, and we see deeper truths. That's why it's always dope to go back and read old books, right? Every new stage in your life will speak new messages and new truths to you. And it only works for books. You can't go back and watch old movies or listen to old records and try to summons things. You can, but it's far more profound with books. Because when you read a book, you have to create the vision in your mind to exist in the world of the author. See, you've got to learn how to tighten up your own weak spots and tighten up your own weaknesses. And you know what they are. You know what your weaknesses are. You know better than anyone else. And you know it's holding you back. It's never another man or woman holding you back. It's always your weaknesses. It's always your work ethic or lack thereof. It's your lack of faith or your lack of just putting in the sweat equity, the blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes it's about being too sensitive. All-Madden Mode will break that sensitivity right out of you, because sometimes you need it to be sanded down. Nobody else can do this shadow work for you. You've got to bust down on yourself and your skill sets and what you bring to the table, right? The 3 types of income you want to have coming in at all times, in whatever ratio you decide to have them. But you always want to have earned income coming in, right? Portfolio income and passive income. Earned income, portfolio income, passive income. That means active income that you work for, you selling your time, right? $12 an hour, $24 an hour, $2,400 an hour, earned income. Wages, salary. And then there's passive income, royalties, what you wrote, what you produced. Own your masters, your bars, your beats, your intellectual property. It's the only property that you can own, that you created from the subconscious mind. That's not real property. It's not a house. It's not a business. It's not soil. And then portfolio income. If you don't know, learn about the foreign exchange and the NASDAQ and the stock market. And even if you don't know about that, learn about crypto and Bitcoin, right? Ethereum. Learn about the different types of things going on and ways to generate income that doesn't require you sitting at a desk or clocking in somewhere every day of your life. Because it's like Warren Buffett said, right? If you don't find a way to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be 99 years old having to get carts at Target or having to greet people at Walmart because I didn't play my cards right, because I crapped out and did some stupid shit. I want to be living in the lap of luxury. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be struggling. And I damn sure don't want to have to depend on kids or anybody. Because again, it all comes back to you. And the advanced minds who elevated our civilization through their art and inventions and movements were ordinary people who discovered how to routinize the flow state so they consistently produced magic. We've studied Beyonce. We've studied Serena and Tiger Woods, LeBron, Jordan, Beethoven, Mandela, and Steve Jobs, right? We know the details are in their work ethic. All-Madden. Their mindset. All-Madden. People who put a gash in the history books. People who move the needle of civilization. Their habits. All-Madden next level. There's going pro, there's all pro, and then there's All-Madden. And you have to earn it. You don't get pushed there. You don't get thrown there because you're cute. Felt cute, right? That's only going to take you so far. But that work ethic, baby, that work ethic is going to put you in places in front of very important men and women who can move your life to another echelon. This past weekend, I was walking on the beach in Manhattan Beach, and we walked past the CEO and founder of what is it? Skechers, the shoes. I think the shoes are hideous as hell. I don't know who's wearing them, who's buying them, but they've been in business, right? They're balling. But the owner and CEO, we walked past his house, Manhattan Beach, right on the ocean. Huge European villa. Clowning. Right? All-Madden. Playing his cards right. Next level. Whatever you're doing today, listen. Whatever you're doing today, whatever your life looks like, ask yourself, is this where you want to be 10 years from now? 10 years from now? Is this where you want to be? Is this the house you want to live in? Is that the car you want to drive? Do you want your body to look like that? Is this all you want out of life? Are you happy with your state of existence? Are you happy with your tax bracket? Are you satisfied with the state of your mind or your money, your relationships, your love life? The spirit is life. The mind is the builder. The physical is the result. The spirit is life. The mind is the builder. The physical is the result. Visions, thought world, manifested into reality. The first of the 7 universal laws tells us that all is mind. Come through, Kabbalion. Where are my Kabbalion students? The universe is mental. Everything we see, everything we experience in our physical world has its origin in the invisible mental realm. The old head used to say the spirit realm, right? Quantum physics proves that nothing is solid. It proves that thoughts are what put together and hold together this ever-changing energy field into the objects that we see and taste and touch and smell and feel. That started as a thought. And our thoughts are linked to this invisible energy, and they determine what that energy forms. Your thoughts literally shift the universe on a particle level. It is universal consciousness from which all things, ideas, creativity, and genius manifests. It's the place where you will pull the idea that helps you earn your first million. You never have to impose your ideas on others. And that baffles me. People, you're vegan. Let people eat beef and swine and hippopotamus ass and whatever let people eat what they want to eat. This is their life. That is their manifestation. You don't have to I had to come to terms with this. You don't have to ever force your ideas on anyone. If your ideas are worth anything, they will create their own momentum. That's why you can never be envious and jealous of this world's influencers, the athletes and the actors and the actresses and the comedians and the business owners and entrepreneurs and creatives who influence the masses and influence the children and influence the styles and the trends, because that takes it takes a lot of creative energy. And to move across continents and for an idea to move across genders and races and ethnicities and customs and cultures, it's like hip hop or jazz or baseball or football, soccer. For that many people to be excited about something takes a lot of energy. But they didn't have to force that idea. That's why I always say our influencers have more power than even the government, because they influence us and make us, persuade us to want to be something and do something and sway our behavior in ways that you didn't have to be forced or coerced. They can show you something and all of a sudden you want to embrace that. That's energy. You never have to compete when you're in your own lane. A giraffe will never be a lion. A rabbit will never be a serpent. But you know what? You can work the hell out of your lane. Your lane. Stay in your lane and work the hell out of it. That's where your bag is. That's where your blessings are. Your lane. Anytime you aspire for what someone else has will leave you unfulfilled, because you will never have enough of what was never meant for you. Sit with that. For real. Sit with that. We have to learn to operate in detachment. choosing to be free from the good and bad opinion of others. That's a serious request of the ego, especially in a me world where everyone wants to show you what they ate today and what they wore today and how their hair was at the last photo shoot and where they are today, where they're traveling, what they're driving, who they fucking, right? Needing is a state of the ego. The ego tries to convince us that we are empty and we need something to feel, love, success, and happiness. But our true self, the you who is the watcher, who is the observer, requires nothing to feel complete, not even a body. Every time you decide, you shift. You decide to stick to your goals, decide to stick to what you said you were going to do, you shift. Every time you fall off, you shift. Choose who you want to be and you will shift into that version of yourself. Ignore anything and any opinions that don't enhance your life. Period. If it doesn't enhance your life, you're not about that life. When you look at the grand scheme of your life and how long you will have breath in your lungs and a beat in your heart in relation to eternity, half the shit you stress over is null and void, a moot point, not worth your energy, and damn sure not worth your tears or sleepless nights. All-Madden Mode. All money in. Thank you for listening. Go love on your loved ones today. Not the people who are necessarily on your social media, but the people who you grew up with, your brothers, your sisters, your mom, your kids, your uncles. Reach out to them today. Tell them you love them. Tomorrow isn't promised. Peace.